Okay, so seeing that it is December 31st and 2020 has been a year that won't be forgotten for probably a long, long time. This is going to be a year written down in history books. This is going to be one of the craziest years probably ever in human history. Not just the U.S. history, human history. This is mostly going to touch on U.S. stuff that's happened, more locally to me. Obviously, there has been other stuff that has happened outside of the U.S., but I mean that could be its own video too. Like there was that one explosion in, I don't even remember what country it was in, but that killed a bunch of people and whatnot. And then they had, I think it was, I forget what kind of chemical it was in there, but I think it was used to make nukes or whatever, or bombs basically. And there's all this other stuff in China and whatnot. Now this first one here is more so outside, but this was pretty big when it happened. So what happened was was reported. This was February, I think. So we're starting way back. But by the way, these are not in order. There's a bunch of stuff. I just kind of compiled stuff together. None of it's in order. None of it's in like a top 10 or anything weird like that. But this one happened. I believe it was middle of February, end of February, somewhere in there. It might have even been March, to be honest. I don't exactly remember when this is. And I just put this together, and I forgot I forgot to look at the date for this. But Kim Jong-un was apparently having heart surgery. And there was reports. It came out literally a whole day of reports saying that Kim Jong-un had died, and the heart surgery did not go well. And this spread like a wildfire all throughout the news. And around the world, this spread around, and it was revealed 2 days later that he actually hadn't died, and somehow reports came out. There was one really weird report that he had pretended to kill himself to see who was trying to plot against him, who was against him really, and didn't like him. And he was going to go after those people. That was reported. There's a really weird report on that, and I wish I could find that article, because that could be a whole video in itself, honestly. But I mean, why that happened, whatever happened, I mean, I don't know if it's fully clear to this day. Obviously, he is still alive. But, did he actually kill himself to see if people were actually, trying to plot something against them, or what actually happened? I mean, it's North Korea, so I mean, we're not gonna find out. We probably won't find out for a while. Then next, this one's not as major, but this was sparked recently by the news, and I kept these pictures kind of small because looking at these things is just terrifying. So basically, what these are I think they're called Japanese bees or something like that, or Japanese hornets, excuse me. I believe it's Japanese hornets is what their actual name is. And they were given the name murder hornets because they, as you can see in the left picture, they go around murder bees and whatnot, and they're bad for the environment. Well, it was reported on, I don't know if it was somewhere in Washington. I know that there was a ship that came in and they found a dead one, and there was reports that there was murder hornets, is what we're gonna call them right now. We're gonna start invading North America, and then eventually it would go down into South America, up and down the whole Americas basically. And it was a bad thing because so European bees have a defense against them, and what they do is they basically ball up around them, flap their wings, and heat the insect and kill it. And I guess you could say the American style bee, I guess you could say, has never had a threat like that to deal with. And so bees never adapted that way. and never, you know, had a defense mechanism like that because they didn't have any predators, basically. Obviously, you know, the wasps here are probably half the size of a murder hornet, honestly. So, I mean, they aren't really threats to bees. So, you know, it was going to damage, you know, the ecosystem. You know, these things are killers. I believe, like, they hurt. I believe if you get, I think they bite. I don't think they sting. I think they actually bite you. So, I believe they bite. I could be wrong, and they could sting you too. I mean, I'm sure they have a stinger, but I'm pretty sure their bite is more effective, honestly, because they can rip a bee in half. So, if that tells you anything, that tells you how bad they are. So, next, I mean, this could go on for hours. And, I mean, there is so much to unpack here. I try to stay away from political stuff, but so much of it happened in 2020 around Trump, you know, with calling the coronavirus under control, you know, golfing when there's, you know, a whole bunch of important stuff to do. It's, you know, just the way this was handled. I mean... It's there's just, you know, there's so much here, and it's just I don't want to go really deep into politics because, again, that's not what I want to do on here. This is just a major event, especially for well, I mean, it affects other countries that we were, you know, allies with, or that we that we are allies with, you know, shutting down and you know, whatnot. And it all starts at the top. And, you know, all of the tweets that he's done, you know, everything he said, the bleach, when he said drink bleach, you know, just all that, you know, just stuff about coronavirus. And then, you know, obviously making headlines for the election, claims he won it when, if you go out there and look, there's actual statements from, you know, companies, well, I guess you'd call them companies that, you know, look into this stuff, you know, do the counting and whatnot, certify it and everything. And, you know, he didn't actually win, even though he says he did. You know, he went on the whole court thing where he wanted, you know, a bunch of states to recount. And here in Wisconsin, in my state, they found more votes for Joe Biden, so we actually lost worse because of the recount here in Wisconsin. Which that's just crazy to think about. You know, you try to swing votes, and, you know, you end up swinging them for Joe Biden. So, you know, all of that stuff, you know, all the pardons he's done, and, you know, just, I mean, so much happened in 2020, and it all seemed to center around him. He somehow. I mean, it's just, there's just is a lot here. I'm not going to go deep on this because I don't, this is bad. This is how you know, you turn political, and then, you know, you have that one person that randomly finds this video, and, you know, it's just, it is what it is. I don't want to go into it. So, that's that. So we're going to move on here. Now this section here, I will probably play the video while I am talking. I'll mute the, sound for it and whatnot, even though the sound kind of helps. So maybe, I don't know what I'll do. I'll figure it out. But basically, in, I think, what was it? Oh, it was April. There it is right there. See, this one has the date. I don't know why I didn't have the date for the other one or the first one. But, so April 29th, it comes out. And I guess I really shouldn't have labeled this aliens, because basically what it is the Pentagon this was, I think, yeah, you can't really see it on here because, again, the image cropped off for the website, but this was, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. The video, the actual video, showed an unidentified, you know, flying object, UFO, basically, and they could not figure out what it was. And this was just released by the Pentagon this year. Video is from, again, it's from like 2010 or something like that, 2011. It's from a while ago. And they, you know, finally put this out. saying that, they found something, they don't know what it is. After, years of research, they couldn't figure it out. And let me tell you, I mean, it was a crazy place. April, around that date, start of May, it's just a crazy place because you had a whole bunch of people, talking about aliens and whatnot, and it was crazy. So, I mean, this is big news. This is more so forgotten about now. Again, just like the Kim Jong-un thing. This is starting to get forgotten about. This did happen this year. This wasn't 10 years ago. I'm sorry. This wasn't this was made 10 years ago, but this wasn't some video from like. I don't know what I'm saying. 2020 feels like it's just been 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, all in one. So, yeah, I'll let the video play, and then we'll move on to the next one here. So, imagine starting the year with World War III trending all over, everywhere. World War III was trending. I even made a video, a parody, a skit on this. If you go back to my videos in January, I think I called it like World War VI or something. I mean, the threat, the possibility of a World War III happening is just crazy. And I mean, technically, what it was is the U.S. bombed. I forget who we bombed. Whatever. Government, well, not, I don't know. I shouldn't say government, but basically, they decided to bomb a country. And what happened was that country got really mad. And I don't know why Iran is popping into my head. That is probably not right. I don't know why it is. But basically, the country got mad. And we thought 4 days into 2020 we were going to war. we thought we're dragging everyone into this. This is going to be a global war again. And it was just, a crazy time. And what a way to start the year. It was nothing even, close to, real world war. Because again, we just bombed some place. I forget. They were planning an attack on the U.S. basically, and we bombed them. And so, I mean, it just sparked outrage, and it's the internet got talking, and eventually, we settled on World War III, and it's just just thinking starting 2020, and it's oh my god, and just thinking about starting the World War, 3-4 days, and it's just insane. So. This was not a video game. This actually happened. This is literally probably the first thing. There might have been one thing that happened like January 1st or January 2nd. But this was like one of the first two things, maybe even the first thing to ever happen in 2020. And it's so long ago that I'm pretty sure people have forgotten. And then, I think the next one is, yeah. All right, so next here, obviously, there has been a lot of deaths, and I'm highlighting these two because these two had the most impact. So we have Chadwick Boseman, and then obviously Kobe Bryant. We'll talk about Kobe first because he died in late January, and then Chadwick just died in October, I believe it was. So obviously, Kobe Bryant, big basketball player. I mean. He just touched so many people. If he didn't make it, he helped made the WNBA, and it was big. He had a lot of people looking up to him, former and current players. He'd reach out, talk to him, help him out with everything. He was just an inspiration to so many people, even in schools. If you have, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. If you made a shot, if you threw a paper ball in the recycling, or you threw something from halfway across the room into something, you always shouted out Kobe. He was everywhere in everyone's lives. And he just had such a big impact on everything, and his passing hurt a lot to so many people. Again, it's one of the very first bad things to happen in 2020. Also, so that hurt even more because this was the start of a year that slowly got worse and worse. Then Chadwick Boseman, it was reported that he had been fighting, oh my God, I can't even remember what cancer it was, but for about 4 years, I believe it was, 4 or 5 years it was, had been fighting the cancer. I can't remember exactly what it was, and he was making movies at the time. Actually, right now, he has a movie coming out. I believe it's the end of January 2021. He has a movie coming out. I think it's like a music-based movie. I can't ever remember exactly. But, even he still has movies coming out even after his passing. And obviously, he's most known for being the Black Panther. He took, Marvel really took characters like this, characters like Guardians of the Galaxy, just lesser known, lesser cared about franchises in Marvel. And, you get actors like this, and then they portray the, comic, I guess you could say comic accurate, even though, some things are a little different from comics, obviously. But, you make it just feel like that, and, you have boosts in sales to everything. Word spreads around. Eventually, being a Marvel movie, this in this age is like being a Star Wars movie in the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, I guess you could say that too. So, it's just, this affected a lot of people. He actually went out and he's done, so many things. Obviously, Kobe has too. But I think he actually has been to a lot of people that have had the same cancer he has. But he hasn't told, anyone at all. And no one knew until he passed how much, how bad it was. He posted a photo earlier this year, and you could tell, and, people were speculating that it was because of a movie or something, when it really was the cancer kicking in. And, it's just, this... So many people have died this year, and it's just sucky. It's really terrible. So many people that have touched lives. Not even all of it's not even COVID deaths too. There's just been so many things that have just, Kobe's was a plane accident or a helicopter accident, not a plane. Excuse me. Was it? No, I think it was a helicopter. And then obviously, this was, cancer. So, it's more than COVID deaths out there. Obviously, there have been, people that have, died from COVID. And we're going to move on to that I think it's the last one. Yeah. COVID has, it's really changed the world. And this is hard because there's so much here to COVID. It technically started back in, I think, November 2019. Actually, you know what? I should start out with this. COVID-19 started out, and it was either November or December of 2019, when obviously, it came out that a man had ate a bat and it had COVID in it. But there have been other versions of COVID this one, pre-19. I saw some that there was little outbreaks up in Canada. There's been outbreaks, of different COVIDs across Europe, Asia, Africa. COVID has been around. And COVID-19 has been the most, I don't know if I can say most deadly of all of COVIDs. It's obviously, the most well-known because, again, it affected the whole world. This isn't just some small outbreak in some small city. This is global. This became everything, the whole world's problem. And, we had to do something which I don't even know if back during the Spanish flu if the whole world shut down. I don't know that. I mean, this shutdown might be one of the first times in history where we had to do a global shutdown to try to prevent the spread of this virus. It's just, from basically March to, you could even still say now, you could say up to December 2020. You could say that. Because some people still have not gone back to work. Jobs are closing still. We're still losing jobs. I mean, COVID has taken what we know, flipped it on its head, rewrote history, and now we're still trying to combat it. Obviously, I'm not going to get into the whole mask thing. Obviously, we had to mask up, prevent the spread. It helps prevent the spread. We're not going to get into all that crap because there are, some people who don't believe masks work. There are people that do believe masks work. Science says one thing and opinions say another. This has gotten so bad where it's even affected the President of the United States. It's affected the Prime Minister of England. I'm sure it's affected other major... I can't say... Is politicians the right word? I don't know if politicians is the right word either. A major people, I guess I could say, around the world. So COVID is... it's run rampant. And it still kind of is. Even though we're finally getting vaccines, we're finally starting to vaccinate people around the world. We're still losing people. And that is not going to stop, sadly. Some people haven't seen their family since 2019. COVID has really hurt people, and you can't put anyone at blame for this. This is a virus in the world. People eat all different types of things all over the world. You're at risk every single day of your life to a virus like this, to, getting hurt and everything. You're at risk. Everything you do can technically put you at risk. Obviously we don't know what's in what we eat, and some cultures, eating things raw is part of the culture. I don't think the bat was raw. I don't think that. Because it was a restaurant. The guy was at a restaurant when he got it. It's just... It started out small and eventually got bigger. And it's hurt a lot of people. Shut down. You have to shut down. If you want to, that was the right thing to do. Shutting down the world is the right thing to do to try to stop the spread. It's not going to stop everything. Viruses can live on surfaces, and if you put your hand on a surface, you have people being dumb and they'll probably lick something, or, it's just, you can't stop everything. You can't control everyone. With a virus like this, you wish you could. I'm sure people that have gotten it wish they'd taken stuff back. There's been parties where people try to get COVID, college parties and whatnot. This isn't just, something that affects old people. This affects everyone. You're more at risk if you have not heart conditions, if you have health conditions, but you can still die if you're healthy too. So it's, you can't take this lightly. And it's just, it is what it is. We can't control the world. Can't control what happened this past year. This isn't going to go away magically. Tonight at 11:59 p.m. I am recording this on New Year's Eve, so this is not going away at 11:59 and noon or midnight, not noon, midnight. We're COVID free. This isn't how it works. Nothing changes right away. We do have vaccines coming, hopefully by next summer. Where everyone's gets a vaccine, gets treated, and hopefully we can get this more so under control. And yeah, COVID doesn't care who you are. It'll take anyone. So, that's my rant on COVID. We're gonna pop up here. So obviously, there's a lot that has happened. I could have touched on all the fires, in the U.S., in Australia. I'm pretty sure there was some in Europe. We could talk about all the tropical storms, hurricanes. Louisiana got hit by like 2 or 3 tropical storms, 2 of which were back to back. So the weather even is terrible. There's just other things out there you could talk about. I guess the good thing is there's a program called SpaceX that put people up in, I think it was the International Space Station for 90 days or whatever, and they've just come back down. I think that was the end of November they did. There's a lot of people. Oh no, I guess that's there's a lot out there that's happened, and here's to a better 2021. Here's to hoping we can fix some of this stuff. All the protests that have gone on, again, COVID, with the vaccines, let's try to make this a better year. Got to help people out. I could talk about the protests. The protest I didn't even put that in here because some that can be a little controversial too. I'll talk about that real quick here. So it started out with George Floyd dying in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. Then you have protests spark out, city gets destroyed and whatnot. Well, I shouldn't say the whole city. There was a Target, and I could think like a couple buildings around there. Bunch of protests. Portland had not Portland. Excuse me. Maybe it is Portland, Maine. I think it might be Portland, Maine. They had, I think it was 110 straight days of protests starting in March, and that lasted like through into the summer months. You had all that. Protests all around the world. All around the world. More videos are coming out of, people dying and whatnot, and all this unjust stuff that's happening. There's just protests. I'm hoping, and I've always said this, is the younger generation, I guess I am part of the younger generation here, teens, 20s, 30-year-olds, us younger people, basically, we're going to start going into those powerful jobs, I should say, jobs that affect all of America, jobs that will affect all over the world. You have people all over the world, again, are going to start going into this, and real change is going to happen soon. It's not going to be an overday thing, again, because, you still have a bunch of, I hate saying this, but older people in power right now, and, it is what it is. It's, it's time for change. 2020 has really sparked that it is there's a new era coming, and there's more to come. 2021 is going to be, I'm hoping a year where we fix everything. I really am. So, with that out of the way, with a whole bunch of this said, this is going to be my last video of 2020. Actually, you know what? No, I might have one more. There might be one more video coming out tonight. I'll think. There might be something else more upbeat coming out tonight. I did something last year where I kind of put together a montage of things that, movies and events that were going to be happening. Obviously, Olympics got pushed off, movies got pushed off, other events got pushed off. So I might just, do that for, again, 2021. We'll see if I can find enough. If I only find like 4 things, I'm not going to do anything for, 4 things or whatever. But if I can find enough things, enough movies, if it's rescheduled stuff, if it's stuff that's actually supposed to come out in 2021, if stuff got pushed up from, 2022 to 2021, maybe there's, an animated movie, a stop motion movie or whatever that, people had time to do, film from home, something like that might have got pushed up. Well, if I can find stuff like that too. So, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, I may put that up, otherwise, I might put it up tomorrow on New Year's Day. We'll see what happens. But for now, it's been a crazy 2020. Personally, I hit 100 subscribers back in September. Was it September? Yeah, so September or October, I hit 100 subscribers. Big milestone to hit. I started my channel last, basically, October, November. Somewhere around there is when I started really putting out content and really focusing on this channel. And, I'm at, 130 right now. So, here's to hoping for 150 by, 2022. It's not going to be easy. Again, I have to find videos that really get noticed. I did have one that got some views the other day, or the other week, I should say. And, since then, it's been kind of up and down for views again. So, but last time of the year, like the video, share the video around. Don't forget to subscribe as we head into 2021. And I'll see you guys next year. Peace.